We are here with Andre and Renee
Hola.
with Girl Be Nice. We are on question time. We are doing questions uh just for girls to get to know, I guess, to get to know yourself better and like what would you do in these situations and
Or some stuff people are scared to ask, to be honest, being
and
judged.
we're on a self-love journey, so I feel like the more you know about yourself, the more you unwind.
I agree.
Yeah. So we're gonna start with our first question.
Unwind. That was a good one.
So, if you are in a bad mood, do you prefer to be around people?
I don't, because I feel like I don't want to take it out on somebody else. Because easily, right? You're annoyed, or my kids. Like, let's just say if I'm having an off day or something, they come there and ask a question. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be like, what? Not purposely. We just choose to do that. Nah, I'd rather, even if it's for 5 days, leave me alone. So I readjust.
Yeah.
You're like that too, though.
I am. I will go in the middle of the desert and spend like maybe an hour or two to just like overthink something and let me have my moment. Let me have my moment.
And I never give you that moment though. I realize like I look at your location. I'm like, where you at?
She don't sometimes, and you know it's good and it's bad. Like so, like learning through our friendship, because sometimes it is okay to be alone, and I'm teaching her it's okay to be alone, and sometimes it's not okay to be alone, and that's what she's teaching me.
I think, yeah. So, cause I'm a friend. I'm definitely that person where it's like, if you're going through something, we're going through it.
She do, and I be like, girl, let me do my little ugly cry by myself. So I appreciate that. So we are learning that, like, you know, different, like, balance. What kind of friendship, like, who are you? Like, you know, do you like, and how to express that to your friend, like, because sometimes you have to, without being like rude or coming across like, leave me the f alone. Like, you know, sometimes it is like, you know, okay. So I think this is a good question. What is the how long?
She finding it.
I am. I found it. No, I'm just saying. What is the best advice that someone ever gave you?
Truthfully, I think because like I said, I think kind of tearing from our last episode, and you know, like really being okay with myself. You know, it was like people are gonna like you or they're not. You know, and it wasn't like I was trying to be a people pleaser. I always felt like I was so different. You know,
what is the best advice someone gave you?
Keep being you.
Who told you that?
One of my friends, truthfully.
Okay. No, I just want to know.
Like one of my friends, and it was like one of my guy best friends, honestly. Because I was like going through certain things, and I was just like, man, like I'm this person, I do this, I do that, and I still was getting like the same outcome. Yeah. And I was gonna change who I was because I was like just to fit that person or whoever. Mm-hmm. And then he literally said it was like, bro, like you just gonna be you regardless. Yeah. People are gonna accept you, right?
See, and that goes into when I was telling her, you know, when somebody don't choose you as their advice. I'm just saying. Because I told her, like, you know, you gotta be, sometimes you gotta be a bitch sometimes. You know, sometimes you gotta be angry sometimes. But it goes into saying, you know,
it works.
Be you. Yeah, be you. And that's true.
I think I don't like to come off like, I mean, I can, for the most part.
She want to be looked at as she a mean, but she is mean.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is, too. It's like my perception of people is like, okay, I want to talk to you to understand. But sometimes I promise you, like that, what you say is like, I've got better results being a a-hole.
You do. I feel like towards, you're right. Like in certain situations, like women, we are afraid. Like we are afraid that we're going to be like disliked. So we become so much nurturing to people that we forget who we are.
Absolutely.
So absolutely. Us being stern, us being who we are, and you know.
I think I was like that too, because my fear was like, okay, if I tell this person something, and I think because how I grew up, obviously, it's like, I think it's trauma was like, I didn't want to be alone. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, if I show this person I could be a whole bitch, excuse me, it's like that person is potentially like,
love you?
They'll walk away. And I think like now where I'm at, I'm okay if you want to walk away. But it wasn't like that at first.
Yeah. And that's good. So it's like, see, that's some self-love. That's on our self-love journey. And mine's is I forgot who told me this, but it was like hang out with older people because they teach you wisdom.
Absolutely.
Hang out with the young generation. I know. Hang out with the young generation because they teach you how to let go. Like, you
I
know,
agree.
in your 20s, I was just talking about the in your 20s. Well, I don't want to go back to my 20s. I mean, but it was like I was so carefree. I could quit a job like I didn't care, and I was okay with being like, you know,
Really?
not caring. So like me being around young people, they teach me like, you know, my worth. Because
I
in your
like that.
20s, you like, oh hell no, I could do this. You know, I know my worth.
It's interesting, and I
But
think
in your 30s, it's just like, hold on, I don't know if I'm gonna get another job, or I don't know
you
if this person
you
gonna love.
self
Yeah,
reflect.
it's like
You do.
I be so much in my mind that I be afraid to do anything, but in my gut is telling me like, just try.
I like that.
So
I
that
think
was the
like even
best.
younger, but in my 20s, I think I didn't do too much, and I think it's just a mom and working. But I think yesterday, because we had the graduation party for
Yeah.
my son, you know, boy was up to like almost 5 a.m. I'll tell you what, I don't even know. I don't even know how I was up, and I still got up like 8:30, 8:40, go get my car washed. Like nothing happened. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know. I didn't even have no coffee. Like
You know what?
they was turned up too.
I have never been that like
Uh-uh.
my sister and them used to go party, come in, go shower, and go to straight to work, or go straight to work from the club. I
Nah.
never,
Nope.
because I did love my sleep, and I had kids. I was a young mom. Like
He's
I was
like, I
a
love
mom
my
at
sleep.
20. So yeah, I was just like, no, this baby gonna wake up pretty soon. Hell no. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was
That's a good
yeah,
one.
yeah. You gonna you have a question?
Yeah, no, I was just like letting you finish because
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like,
Well,
I mean,
it's
I'm trying to
okay.
learn that because I'm good at cutting you off. Like,
No,
what?
it's okay. Yeah, I know,
I will
y'all.
cut you off.
Please, yes. Be gentle with us, because we do. We be so excited.
Do you ever feel, and I had seen an Instagram thing, right? It's a funny post where I was like, dang, my daughter got the same attitude as me. Do you ever feel like when you're looking at your daughter, it's like literally a reflection of you? How do you deal with it?
I look at her and stare and be like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Like, because I see a lot of us women, like, we're like that. We're hard, right? But it's hard to be hard on her because I'm like, sheesh, like, this is how I was. It's like I'm sitting here yelling at you for the same stuff that I did, if not 10 times harder.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite kid?
No. I think
You love them equally.
I do. I'm one of 7. So like I have to say, like, how my mom expressed it, if we ever said like, you know, you love your kids differently.
I
Like
do.
you
I'm about
can't
to say
love
that.
this child a certain way because this child is sensitive. You can't love this hard child, you know, sensitively, because this child is hard, and you need to be like harder on this child. You can't love this child, like, you know, so it, like, we're all different. So I love my children differently, and I love them the same. They all like, I feel like my oldest, she's very responsible. My middle child, she's a go-getter. Like, she don't care, and she's gonna take criticism well. She gonna cuss you out. Well, she ain't gonna cuss you out.
Yeah, but I know how she
Tell you,
is. Yeah,
she's gonna tell you,
her
okay,
true
well, yes,
feelings.
I messed up, but and she follows directions. That's one thing I have to get everything right with her. She's like, I did this. You did not say do this, mama. And I'm like, you right.
Now
And
someone
then
asked me that, you know, and I was like, but I literally thought about it in self thought at that moment because my son grew up. I mean, a boy and girl, true, but I felt like my son, not even, and I love my kids, right, the same but differently, kind of how you're saying. But I feel like my son literally was just from 16 or just at hip, or even at his age now, 18. I find myself sometimes I'm talking to him like I'm like it's a friend, you know, we're like having real genuine conversations, or him telling me like, maybe he doesn't like this person now, right? And it's like really self-reflect because I'm that person. That's a good question. If my kids tell me they don't like somebody that I'm talking to, I'm stop talking to them instantly. I don't care to question it too much. It's more so if they have a reason why they feel that way. Yeah. What about you? If your kids told you like, woke up like, nah,
it depends.
Mom.
It depends, just because like I feel like my daughter, my middle daughter, she don't like nobody. She don't like nobody.
I know it took a long time for like, I ain't gonna lie.
So if and my mom, I remember my mom telling us, like, she was like, it doesn't matter, because unless they're harming you, you know, unless this person is hurting you.
I wish I was like that, but I'm not. I will cut you. I've did it.
No,
it's so weird.
That person could be good for you, and you missing out on something.
I think it's true. Like 50-50.
Like, because you don't know in the world.
Yeah, I think.
And like, you know how many situations where a child didn't like a dad. I think Steve Harvey said
He
something.
did.
He was like,
But
yeah,
he referenced, like, I ain't be real. Like,
you
the
know what?
research
But
I
then I
did really
just,
on him, he just.
I know you right.
That's
You
I was
right.
I was
Cause
getting ready to get to
okay,
that because his reference, like, what because I do a lot of research, but I just think, like, my son, right now he's 18, finally opened up. I had, like, literally a rough, like, last week. I think it was in general, right, because his graduation, and I came home. I was in tears. I don't know why I was in tears. Like, that's
You
weird.
do know why.
Sometimes
It's
I just
okay
think
to
sometimes,
embrace
well, not even that.
that.
Sometimes I just be like, it could be a song. It's Sunday, like gospel music come on, and you just be like, not overwhelming. And I think, like, okay, he's about to graduate, but he was laying on my floor, and that was probably the realest conversation I had with my son. We were talking about different things because I'm like, I'm almost like gonna be 40 years old, right? And I'm like, damn, I'm about to be alone forever. And that's how. And I said it to him, and I'm like, is my requirements too high?
No.
And that's where I was in the self thought. No, he said, it's so funny how you said, like, he was like, no, like, truthfully, you can up them.
Yeah.
Like, literally up them.
Yes.
So I look at everyone around me, and I think everyone's either married or they're in some type of relationship, and I'm like, that seems cool.
No,
Like,
that mean it's coming to you because you remember I said, like, you are a reflection of what you like. They are reflecting. So I'm reflecting off of you, and other people are reflecting off of you, and it's some healthy relationships that's reflecting. So that means you want it. That means it's there, and it's a possibility of it being there. But right now, you have to you gotta fix, I guess, work your way up to the
I don't
ballpark.
trust people. I think that's what it is. That is, if I could get over that, I'd probably.
Yes, you know what? At first, I used to say, yeah, you do trust, but yeah, she don't because anybody who got to investigate your trust is like gone, and that's I don't need to investigate nobody. I feel like actions and words says a lot about somebody.
Sometimes, though, but sometimes people can give you those little bit of actions be better than those words, right? For that now moment, kind of, we call it, what do we say, the honeymoon stage, as we say it. And then 6 months down the line, like,
that's
that motherfucker just, like, they lied about everything from the moment you met them. Like, they don't. Sometimes I want to ask them, like, why do you feel like you lie? You know, I just meet you. There's no gain or no loss. I literally just met you.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you in a relationship? Nope. You don't got nobody to talk to? Nope. You start pursuing things, and then before you know it, like, who is this girl?
About?
No, because I'm open to it.
No, but what I'm saying is, okay, so if you're a reflection off that person, that means you're lying about something deep inside, and it don't have
It's
to
probably
be
that
a
trust.
relationship. Yeah, because
I think that's what it is, because I do.
FBI, y'all.
And I try not to be that. I just,
No, but
you're not gonna waste my time.
But you need to. I think you need to just relax, and that goes into self-love. Like, just relax. Like, I think, and that's what I tell you. Like, spend a month. Like, literally, just don't investigate nobody.
I haven't did that, right? I'll be honest. With that point, I'm gonna be honest. Is when I was like, okay, I took your advice. I'm like, I ain't gonna invest. But for some reason, I'm be real. I should share this meme I saw because I was gonna send it to you. Did you see? I don't know what animal that was. Where it was like my mind, right? Like, it says calm, and it was like like all over the place. I do, because I'm by myself. You know, I write in the journal, and I'm like, all right. I don't purposely try to investigate. Sometimes I think God say, here you go. No, I really feel like that.
Okay, so I think about it, but I just don't. I be like,
nope.
Okay, they said this, but they actually did this.
Nope.
And leave it alone.
See, I can't do that. Because my intuition, and I think it goes, and I'm being honest though, I think I go, because we say women have this intuition, men absolutely have it too. I ain't gonna lie. Men have the same type of intuition, they just don't know how to use it. You know, for the most part. Yes. We're not different. They have the same intuition, no different. I think once my intuition is there, because I was more like, oh, my head tells me one thing, but I'm gonna keep it real, 100. Every time my intuition told me something about somebody I was either dealing with, whether it was a friend, a family member, whatever, it was accurate. I feel like you don't get that intuition ever. No, I do, but you ignore it. You know why? Because I need to know why. Lesson, I feel like whatever lesson I need to learn. You always say that. Whatever's meant to be will be. I know. Okay, because one thing, I'm not about to get no gray hairs, no ring, no. We get those anyway. Aging, period. So it's just like I'm not about to overly stress myself out for these things. I feel like if you gonna tell me, regardless of what happened, because karma is a mother and it's gonna pay you back solid. Like, at the end of the day, like, I will flourish. If you gonna do me dirty, see, that's the thing. I will flourish no matter what. You gonna be thinking like it's gonna be so bad where you thinking you're the victim. How are you the victim if you hurt me? You know what I'm saying? I think I agree. So when I'm like, things wouldn't play out the way they do if I always, that's why I don't play into it. Like, I'm not. It is what it is. Nah. I will, like it because it's life. Like, fuck that.
But you can't. But guess what? When you start controlling, you start getting a headache.
I mean, you do. I won't say I can say like I'm not controlling no more. You know,
you going to work with puffy
eyes. I don't even cry though. I mean, I cry randomly, but it don't be because of that. Because I'm investigating. I really don't. I do agree.
He think I'm stupid.
Like, I'd be like, you just go like, what the fuck?
I don't think he thinks you stupid.
I do.
I think he's stupid and he told you a stupid lie.
And then to be mad, like when we figure out this lie, you know, like why do guys do that?
Yeah.
Y'all sit there and be like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And then you find out you're exactly doing that. And then you're mad at me because I was right. Why do that? It's weird. Day one, you could just say the truth, you know?
Maybe the nigga wasn't doing it at first. You're saying it so much. Like,
I might as well do it. I've heard that.
So I think you need to just relax your mind and just like let it be. That's cool. What is the last movie that made you cry?
What? I watch Blindside every other day. It's my movie. That's one of my favorite movies. I love Blindside. But you know what? It's the story in it, and I mean, I have a couple. I mean, that's one of my top. You know, that one and then Home. Okay, it's childish, but Home Alone. That's my movie too.
Home Alone don't make me
It'd be sad though. It do like the little boy lost and stuff. Like his mama looking out the window, playing the music in the background.
He's a millionaire
now, but in the movie, he not. He just a kid. That's lost.
That's why I can't watch movies because he's a millionaire in reality. You know.
So you don't really say, okay, yeah, maybe.
I love movies based on true stories, which sucks because my sister Keeper hurt.
Have I said? Oh, the girl that was the organs and stuff, yes. Like, and she was a kid. Well, her sister was here, so she was sick. Well, she wasn't sick, but her sister was sick.
But her parents had her
just to like be a bone marrow, bone marrow donor.
Her parents had a second child
to be the bone date. Yep.
Because the other one was
dying. Yep.
So dying of cancer.
Push this next baby out.
Basically, yeah. Absolutely, you got to watch it.
She ended up getting a lawyer.
Well, don't tell the whole thing. You should watch it. That's the goal for this week. Yes. We can't say it. It is sad.
Based on a true story.
Watch it.
Is it like Notebook type? Like
not Notebook type.
I like Notebook.
Not Notebook type. It's not a chick. It's not a chick flick. It's.
This sounds like a thriller.
That shit sounds crazy. I mean, it is, but the thing is, it's like this little girl who realizes like her worth. I would say because she was okay with it up to a point, but then
because her sister,
like they had a conversation.
Like, a lawyer.
Because her sister was like, "That's not why you should be here." Because she was okay with giving. This was her sister. That was what she was doing from birth. Like, here you go. You need this. You have to watch it, and then we'll talk about next week. Because we say too much, it's kind of like telling the movie, but it's good. Oh, speaking of that, y'all should watch The Night Agent.
Oh yeah,
I'm on it. Oh my God, that is so good. You watched it? Don't tell me it, because I'm like, I think I'm almost done. But Night Agent. Remember, I just told you.
The Watcher.
What is that one?
It's based on a true story. You gotta watch it.
The house?
Yes.
Okay, don't say it. The Watcher?
You probably won't watch it with your kids.
It's a thriller type genre.
It is. It's based on a true story. It's creepy, kind of.
I'm not watching it. You already know.
It is. Look it up. They never even found out. Like that's how it ended. That's how it was so good. Binged it.
I cried recently. Not to a movie.
What'd you see?
I was watching this parenting show on Hulu.
What is it called?
He don't know. He just clicked on it probably one day. He's at parenting. On Hulu?
It's a parenting show,
how many shows gonna pop up? Parenting. All right.
Parenting. I know.
Siri, find parenting. You have 332 searches.
So it's like a bunch of different families and shit like that.
In a different way.
Family. You got the
like different.
Strict family. You got the lax family. You got the one that let their children run all over them and all types of shit.
What made you cry?
So they was doing a challenge where they didn't want to open you're not supposed to open the door. So when somebody rings on the doorbell, kids is not supposed to.
I agree.
Yeah.
Get your parent. Like, you better not touch that door.
If moms and dad wasn't home,
we ain't touching that door. And we ain't even there. We like invisible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
not for. We watched ourselves.
You like, oh my God, don't move.
But you like,
they can see me.
We used to walk, like we watched ourselves. No, for real. And I'm like, we watched ourselves. It's so different. And I said it, like I am overbearing with my kids because it's a different day and age that we're in. But we watched ourselves.
We watched ourselves, but these kids will get snatched the fuck up.
On everything. You can't even watch yourself.
Gosh,
it's like they will. And because they just have they think.
I think it because social media.
There you go.
No, okay. These kids will get snatched because of social media because like these kids, our parents drilled it to us like, don't trust nobody. On top of don't trust nobody, don't take no candy. If somebody say come see
get in his car,
puppy.
Parents enforcing it. The schools was enforcing it.
Yep.
Yes.
Shows and commercials were enforcing it.
Absolutely.
You know, the weed commercitions and shit like that. Obviously, didn't work too good, but
nothing wrong with a little endo. I'm just saying.
You right. And it's like these kids they spoiled
as fuck.
I feel like they're so sensitive. These kids are so sensitive. Like I feel like we all got bullied at some point. Like we just didn't look at it as bullying.
Yeah.
Because I got talked about. Like I remember somebody literally screamed out in the cafeteria, like, you know, everybody say boo to Andre and everybody stood up. It was like a movie.
What'd you do?
It was like boo to you. I said damn, act like who was Andre?
Ain't no way. See, boy, boo to and that's I think the stuff I got bullied for, and I wouldn't say bullied because I'm very I'm firm, but it was because I was mixed. I was light skinned. I had the long hair, so everyone always felt like I had it easy. Not knowing shit at home was a tragedy for the most part. I went to school to kind of that's probably kind of how you said, relax, and I got that mask on. We're two people, and I tell people that. So when I was at school, it was like, yeah, I might have been the bookworm. I held it. I was quiet with it, but no, it got me away from whatever I was going through. So I think like when we do bully people, it's like you don't know what the fuck somebody going through.
Yeah, but I don't think. Well, you know what? I never looked at it that way because I don't know. I didn't look at bullying like that because I'm one of 7, and we got talked about.
Y'all literally were doing that.
No, yeah. So it was just like our family like cut deep. You know, your siblings
for real.
Than somebody else.
I just take up moments where I'm like, yeah.
Like everybody else at school, when they said something to me, I'm like, okay, shut up. Like,
nah, but I think it bothered me. Even though we put on a thing, you wouldn't know it did it, but I used to be like, I remember looking in the mirror like, damn, like, why am I mixed? Like, it ain't my fault.
Really?
Absolutely. Because you don't fit in one crowd, you know? You don't fit in this crowd. You're like, some people like, you ain't black enough. I'm like, unless I talk, most people don't know. Like, they're like, you Mexican. No, I'm Puerto Rican and black.
That is, you know what? That is a good question.
That is what I get.
So good because it was like, I feel like
for real. Everyone say it.
Everybody that was a different shade didn't even want to be that shade. Like my sister is like Nene hated being light skinned.
Absolutely.
My cousin hated being dark skinned. Like you literally telling me you hated being mixed. Like
because it's bad though. Because
especially
you gotta realize growing up in the 90s. That's all you get. African booty scratching.
Oh God!
African booty scratcher was like everybody. And Charcoal, you dusty, you
we had a nickname Charcoal. He was black in the bitch. For sure, like the name definitely fit my nigga, but
no,
black was like a curse.
It was because they don't know. You
I understood my cousin. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, because you sit there, you like.
I feel like the light skins. I'm like,
they thought we had it easy, and that's the next question. People think because I look a certain way, I have it easy. Like, yeah, I understand. I'm pretty, right? Yeah. I deal with the same shit y'all do, if not worse.
No,
honestly,
worse.
If not worse.
No, I ain't gonna say.
You don't think?
Like, I understand that. Like, you know, mixed kids. Like, honestly, I feel like I work with this other girl and. Us being black,
yes.
Like, you know, being mixed, you regardless of what, if you go work somewhere, regardless, they not gonna say something racist to you.
Or if they do, they're saying it to you like you gonna join in.
Yes, they're not saying it to
it's
you.
True.
Like I had racist comments from me like to old white people, and I feel like, wait, what? Like, and I'm like, what? Why would you say, what are you talking about? Racism? And that's what irritates me about people like that. Like, we understand y'all don't see it because y'all white, you know?
Yep.
And I'm not saying like, you know,
no, it's true.
And no, like I had people come up to me as an adult and say some racist stuff,
stupid shit.
And a white person will say, oh, that person is just ignorant.
And that's true. It's crazy because I was with somebody, he was right now what color do you think my mom is? What's that? Yes, most people don't get that. And the guy was over for 13 years. He was black. I remember one time he called me to go pick up his dad. Facts. But he called me. It was like 2:00 in the morning. I ain't gonna lie. I jumped up to go pick them up from somewhere. And I must have made a turn, right? I can't make it up. The cops pulled us over. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, all right. You got him sitting in the passenger seat. You had his dad in the back. The cop gets out. looks in the car, looks at me like, you okay? I was like, oh, I think I see. He's like, no, like, you okay? He took me out of the car. And I remember saying it to him. I'm like, why am I out the car? And they're in there. He's like, no, you can look at me. Are you okay? I'm like, you think these niggas kidnapped me?
Yeah, yes.
And I was so offended because I'm like, no, I'm like, actually, like, that is my boyfriend in the front. I'm like, and I asked him, I'm like, why do you feel like that? He was more offended me asking him, like, so people can't.
Yeah.
Like, why did you feel like, because it's 2:00 in the morning, like, did I give away that I was like staring at the wheel? It's like, it's racism is real across the board for a lot. Because I have a friend that's Mexican too, and some of the stuff that she be telling me, I'm like, damn, that's some fucked up shit. Or people think Puerto Ricans and Mexicans is the same thing. It's not.
You know what?
It's not.
I won't disrespect y'all because y'all get so aggressive.
We do though. I ain't even gonna lie.
Like, because that's just like, well, black people don't get it, and like y'all be like, oh, you Nigerian.
This is my little brother.
See, and you wouldn't even guess that. Apples and oranges.
We got the same mama. We came out the same body. That's my brother.
Okay.
You stuck to military time, I see.
Yeah, we did.
I see. 1743.
You know what? But my sister, I get that because me and my sister, like that's
like the same though. You just like.
Oh,
y'all do.
Yeah,
y'all do.
Y'all do.
It's interesting though.
It is. No, black people come out.
He wanted to look like my mom.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
See, but I think that stems from parents because
everybody
I didn't fuck with my dad like that, and me being this black, oh man, you look like your dad, blah blah blah. Him being light skinned, his dad is light skinned, so he's like, man, fuck this shit. I want to look like moms. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He did everything in the world possible to try to get darker or whatever. It wouldn't work. Then he cut off his mole and then he got bigger.
Because you just want to fit it. Because like my brother is like, he's white, like he got color. My little brother, I have an older brother too, but we don't really talk like that. But my little brother looked like my mom, like he white and he had the color eyes, the curly hair until he talk. I'll be real, like till he talk. But I used to always tell him like, bro, like you got it so easy. That's just how I felt.
Really?
I used to always tell him that. Yeah, my mom used to whoop our ass, and we couldn't go in there like 7:00. We wasn't getting lunch money. Like I remember, like my sister, like we were saving money I remember like the shoes I wanted so bad with some Air Forces. I remember going to my mom. I'm like, we ain't getting it. Boy, my brother got his check. He had a whole new game system. It was like I always felt, and I tell him like he had it easy sometimes.
Yeah.
My mom was kind of strict on us, like you better be in here before the lights is off.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean, like the street lights. Meanwhile, that nigga out there like till the sun come up, just turned up.
And stuff like that because they had it so bad. Like women had it horrible back in the day. Like women had it horrible, and like it was either you toughened up and got with the program, or you branch that off on your kids. Like it's a lot of women that hurt their kids in the process.
Absolutely.
And like I had plenty of friends like who like moms is just like, girl, my mom is not like your mom. My mom like I think because she lost her mom at a young age, on top of her living with her grandma, on top of her never feeling like she had anywhere to belong to. So she didn't want to cause misery on other people. And my mom, she was a bully in school. I know that was her mean side. She talked about, I'm like, Mama, get past this. Okay. She's like, I just wrote such and such on Facebook, and
was that like thinking you're supposed to like be on?
No, yeah.
You know how you be at work? Let me set my clock. Well, all right, you're my last customer. Let me hurry up.
Yeah, no, I felt like like just moms just. Instead of them expressing it and telling them their history, my mom expressed her history and stuff like that.
I think a lot of relationships could be with mothers to understand them. I think my mom, I didn't understand her, but I made it my business to try to, but that shit didn't work. It was more like trying to understand because she went through different life. And I used to just be like, I won't even lie. I remember most. I'm like, I ain't gonna be like that.
So is she a Spanish white woman?
No, she's straight white. Like, was she like white and Italian? Puerto Rican and black. A little bit I know. I don't know my dad. He was a famous, I don't say it, but I'll say he was in the group called the Silvers back in the day.
What? Silvers?
The Silvers. Like if you Google them, not out here, they just traveled everywhere around the world. A lot of people know them. Like they're usually in the 40s or 50s. Google it right now. It'll come up. Yeah, unfortunately, I look like all my uncles and my aunts. But he denied me, but not my brother and sister. Like he literally was paying child support for them, and my mom had me, and he said he would never have sex with a white woman, even though me and my brother and my sister came from her. It was disowned from birth, like never cared to know anything. And I remember I wrote him one time, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was about 25, 26-ish. And he's like, look at this.
Come on.
Yes, it is.
3 times?
Let me guess.
Did he say something to you?
No, so I wrote him, and it's my friend.
Right here, but I think it's this nigga on the end.
Let me see. Which end? No, it's actually funny. It's the one in the back. And
he looked like your brother.
Everybody, it looked like everybody, right? So, and that was the thing. And my friend was like, well, just write him. And at that age, I was like 25, 26. That nigga had to be in his 50s or 60s. I wrote him.
Oh, this nigga the first Blueface.
And I was asking, like now for like probably, I was just like, hey, you know, like I'm your daughter type thing. I wasn't rude, you know, and that nigga wrote me back was like, you got the wrong person. Well, he did. I remember going to my friend. I didn't cry or nothing. But I wrote him. I was like, no, nigga. I know who I ain't gonna lie. I was like, well, that wouldn't be accurate because me and my brother and my sister, like my older brother and my older sister, we look identical.
Have they ever lived with him?
No, he only paid child support. Okay. He was paying child support, but it was like, you didn't pay that shit for me.
Saying that I wouldn't sleep with a white woman, but you're paying a white woman child support
for two kids. So I was just like, and so I grew up with that for maybe till I was about 10. And I was just like, I felt like I didn't belong. No, I'm the middle child.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You slipped up.
Middle? Oh, that's crazy. If
I'm the middle.
First or the last,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
No.
I'm the middle. Like it was my brother, then my sister, then me, and then my little brother. He had his own dad, but whatever, niggas. But it was what it was. And then when he wrote that, I was like, what the fuck? But then I had a cousin. He was the only one that ever still to this day, we hadn't talked for a while. I was just going through life things where he like accepted me. Like he was the only person that would be like, no, nigga, that's your daughter. Like that's my cousin. Yeah. And I used to be like, well, what is it about me? So I was telling like, what is it? Even though it was just money, right? I didn't get no fucking child support. Yeah. That was the case out about the Air Forces. So it was like trying to understand, like, damn, like, no, I didn't have a father. And I think that plays into how I raise my kids too. Because they daddy ain't shit either. You know, so it was just one of those things. I have no problem saying that where it wasn't me, like, you know, some women say that like they keep their kid away. No, 16, first time I had sex, got pregnant. And from that moment, he was around for like maybe a year or 2 years to like, you know, start the domestic violence thing or whatever. And even now, literally, I just had my son's graduation. And I mean, you were there too, things were coming. But you see, his grandma was there. You know how I was. I was so uncomfortable. I won't even lie because I'm like, this is not what y'all deserve. You know, you don't deserve to sit here. But my son wanted the grandma there. And I remember like the grandma reached out the other day and we were just talking how everybody's mad at her for going to this graduation. This is her grandson. No matter what we have going on, why are y'all mad at her? He not going regardless. That was a choice you made years ago.
I think the whole thing, because I know y'all, just by now y'all should know I'm the positivity, but my mom always, like my daddy was so disrespectful, but I know
you always tell me that. Nah, that shit.
That's
but you knew who he was.
I knew he was. Yeah, and like my daddy did something, so like he did not come to nothing we did. My daddy didn't even walk me down the aisle when I was in elementary. He rolled past my house to see my mama, but he ended up like turning to the side so we wouldn't know that was him. Like my dad did some crazy things, but it was just like at the end of the day, my dad, like I gotta look at my dad's history. And I feel like we don't look at their history. Why do he feel that way? You know, like ain't like your dad. I ain't saying, you know what? No, he's a grown man.
I was about to say, like,
fix it.
He was choosing not to.
I'm choosing, like right now, I used to be like, forgive, love, forgive, love. But now I'm like,
I'm about to be 36.
Thank you.
That forgive was like those moments where I'm like, dang, why that person got a daddy? Or dang, it has sell. And people can say like, right. And that plays a part too. Like, I know why I am the way that I am towards a man. I know why I'm so strong because I didn't have that male figure. I think I probably wouldn't have been in a domestic violence relationship if I had someone teach me what was right thing. I had a mother who went through domestic violence probably since I popped out. Like, she was in some of the craziest situations. And it kind of tear back when we're talking about moms. I'm like, now that I'm old enough, I don't judge her. Mm-hmm. I became a product for a moment. Mm-hmm. My sister veered where she veered. My brother veered where he veered. And unfortunately, I found myself down that almost the same slope that she went to. So I think it is just a tier of people say like, oh, if this person was in my life. No, if I had a daddy, please. Like, I probably would have been more structured. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have thought that was love, someone hitting you. And that was something I thought for 5 years where the stuff I went through was like, oh, he must care. No.
I ain't going to say that's based on a daddy, though.
I think it plays a part. It does.
It do. No, I ain't saying that, but because I'm not like, wait till I get my degree. Because I do want to focus on that.
It's true.
Like, because
Family trauma.
That I am like I'm curious about that. Like, because how could I, like, no, because me and my sister same mom. Like, we grew up in the same household, and we see things differently. So I'm more like my mom. Like, I'm more forgiving. I'm more even my
You
ones that
are
like
though.
I just want to be mad. So it's just like I'm more of like reality is I'm not about to
I
go
see
out
people.
to
I literally was out with some of my kids, like my friend. Like I go out different places with them, and we go to like a lot of family events. And I said it literally the other day. I was like, she's like, man, you're always quiet, you know. But it's because I'm soaking in that moment. We didn't do like family dinners. We didn't do, and even when I go, like when I went to your mom's birthday, when I was quiet in the corner, I'm just like looking like, this is what a family is. I soak in that moment because you didn't get it. People are like, oh, you sit at the table, eat dinner. Like, nah, if we got dinner, we was lucky. I'm gonna say that for sure. Like, we were very poor. I had a kid in my class was like, you must have been, what was his term was like, you were silver spoon fed. And I was like, it made me stop my class. I was like, what gave you that? He was like, you probably got a nice car, you look nice. I'm like, that's because I chose to do it. Like, I stayed in shelters. I remember we slept in a car for a long time. I was in domestic violence shelters. I mean, literally, like, the whole time. It wasn't, we moved. I probably went to, I lost track of how many schools I went to. And that was what I wanted for my kids. They literally, when my son graduated, he went to the same middle school, the same elementary, the same high school because of that.
That's so sweet. I sure did not. I think I went to like 4 elementaries, 2 middle schools, 3 high schools. You know,
No, the parents. No, she just, my mom moved. Like, she was just, no, it was like she moved.
Like,
No.
my mom stayed in the same elementary, same middle.
Yes.
So my mom was like, she had a friend who did like venture off. Yes. And she was like, oh my gosh, I want my kids. So she wanted us to experience life. So we did. So in
So we did.
high school, I was just like, that's when she let us make the choice. And
and you know what? It used to be cool. You know what? And it's so funny. It says that
cool, but
for a moment.
I didn't. It was a couple
No.
schools. Like, I feel like Valleys. When I went there, it was a bunch of bougie kids. I got in like my first altercation. No, my first altercation was in middle school, not by choice. But even Valley was not by choice, but it was like a bunch of bougie kids. And then Rancho,
I
was
loved
like
Rancho. That
full
was
of Hispanics. And I used to ask the black kids, like, why do y'all want to start this? Calm down. Calm down, Tiger. Like, it's more of them and not enough of us.
And I think that was it,
Like,
because when I went to
and
Rancho,
I'm
it was
like
cool.
it was cool, but I felt like,
I mean, they did have that
people,
one field.
like, I
Yeah.
feel like
Okay.
boys, yeah.
It's just rough.
And then the girls that went there, they was like, they were different. Like, not different. I felt like Western, we wasn't like, we did not judge. Like, y'all could say we was broke, all of that stuff, but we was humble.
Y'all accepted each other.
We really did. There was no, like, honestly, that's why I said it wasn't no bullying. We talked, like, yes, they bagged on each other.
I think like when I went to Rancho,
like siblings.
Yeah. And probably like so. No, Rancho wasn't like that. I think when I went to Rancho, it was cool. I was in ROTC for like most of the time, so I like got pregnant. And I loved that school. I only ended up at Cheyenne because my mom was being, and to tell you the truth, like maybe that was probably the only caring part I can remember. She switched me schools because my kid's dad. She thought it would keep us further. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna keep that nigga rode a bike all the way from Rancho to like Ann and Simmons.
He will come for you.
But I can say like and I can see that she's seen it. It was the craziest thing, right? And I was a kid, I was like, that's kind of cool. Until it was like, oh shit. You know, like, okay, like she had a point. That probably was the only thing. But no, we went from California. She was there. We moved back here. We go to this school. We go to that. And I did get tired. I was just like, what the fuck?
So maybe that was her way in like.
It was always a nigga. I'm gonna be real.
It was no, no. It probably was no. It
every time we moved.
No, what I'm saying is, it probably was because even with my grandma, my mama did not hold, like, my grandma got, honestly, she got beat to death. That's how she died. Like, she was in these domestic relationships, but my mom never held my grandma. Like, it wasn't like, oh, so my mom was just like, she was looking for love.
I agree.
She was hurt, and like back then in the day, like my mom put every scenario like, okay, she was hurt and she was looking for love. She couldn't find love. She checked with this guy beat her, and
Absolutely.
she never put a blame on a person. She just put a situation like it was a lesson in life. So that's probably why I'm like that,
because you see
it is like, it's just a lesson that we all go through, and either we're gonna move past it, move forward, or learn from it.
It definitely arrowed me out.
We did get off the questions, you guys. But
it's true though. I think it's domestic violence is a thing, you know. Some women don't talk about it,
It
or
is.
they're embarrassed to talk about it for the most part, because it's like,
It is embarrassing.
it used to be.
You know what?
But I think being a woman's advocate, like now hearing some of the stories, because I won't say what, because it's, you know, confidential. I used to feel like I was the only person in the world that went through, and I think that I went such a high extreme of it, damn near died from it, you know? So I was like, until I traveled and started telling my story and different things, and I was meeting other women. I went to Seattle last year, to Tacoma, and it was a woman's law enforcement thing, but everybody there had some type of story. It was the first time I felt like I wasn't the only person in the world that went through that. Like, people go through domestic violence, but I mean, like, I was thrown out of cars. I was all type of thing, like bottles thrown. Like, it was so crazy to me.
Yeah. They don't talk about it.
They don't.
You know, because now they treating it like it's just normal. Like, oh, he's met his emotions, and it's true. Like, I think, like, I was talking to somebody, and she was like, "Oh, he punched walls," and I'm just like,
"That's a sign. That's a sign."
And that's what he said to her.
Because it's like.
But why would you punch?
At what point how can you tell somebody how to respond? How can you tell me how I'm supposed to let most niggas go to the gym? Some niggas want to go for a walk. Some niggas want to hit something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but why punch
That's a sign
when you could go for a walk?
You know what though? Because it's underlying trauma too. That's what I used to say. Like, you want to.
Okay, do you punch the wall to scare her to like be like,
absolutely,
oh, this could be you, but I'm not. Like, so why?
I agree.
Some niggas, I feel like they do that.
Yes.
Most like a nigga like myself. If I had a punching bag in the garage, like I don't want to break my shit. Because I gotta.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, that's so why do you
rather go in the garage?
Hey, people tearing my shit. I used to be like, why you tearing my shit?
I have replaced 3 doors in my house.
Okay, so why do you punch a wall? What make you? So okay, my question is because people always
I punch them shit just because I know I'm gonna get through them.
Okay, I understand that, but you know how they were saying like, oh, women couldn't be empowered because our emotion.
Right.
But what is men doing? Like, that's an emotion that you're basically channeling.
Yeah,
right?
Anger.
So
and that's what men move off of, but that's
but
what it is men move off of anger to put fear in everybody else. So women fear the men because these niggas are going to be angry and be slapping everybody.
That was that.
Putting their hands on people.
And that was the thing, because people used to always ask me, like, 5 years you went through that, like, why it take so long? What he just said, it's the fear. There was times that he didn't hit me, but he said certain things, and I'm like, I'm cool, like, for real, like, your whole train of thought, like, and that's the truth. It's a manipulation thing. It's a mind thing.
Really is. And you know what's so, like, it's crazy because, like, I remember me saying this, I was like, hey, if it was enough women on here to go to speak about, like, it's funny now, but
nah, it wasn't funny then.
You be like, girl.
I used to sit there and be like, what the? And I remember it, you know, I don't mind talking about it now. It's a healed situation to the point where I used to be like, what is wrong with you? He used to either think I was cheating. I remember like that nigga go to the job and sit there, or thinking that if you hit me, it wasn't going to potentially like stop me from doing something. I swear to God, I remember it was one guy, I probably was about like 18 years old before everything that did happened. I swear he used to drive. He would drive on the side of me. I'm like, please don't say nothing to me. Please don't say nothing to me. Like, you know, he would follow me to work. Like, you don't want to ride? Nope. Follow me back. And I used to be so terrified because I'm like, oh my God, if he even without a conversation.
Yeah.
It tears us, but.
It do. And I feel like, you know, a lot of women need to voice that. Like, you know, we know our friends that go through that. We laugh about it, like, girl, this, like, could you believe what he did this weekend? Like, you know, so it's a lot of women who I feel like, you know, that goes with our self-love journey.
Absolutely.
Like, don't hold it in.
No.
Like,
there's other people out there.
Like you honestly, I feel like we should call them out. Cause they think, I feel like, and then everybody say, I don't do that.
They do it.
I feel like,
boy.
I think like maybe I'm gonna give a percentage. I'm gonna say 60%.
I think every man has that potential, and I think it's just about controlling your emotions, right? Because part of the class, like, I'm reading for that tension, right? To learn it. No, a man has emotions. Certain women tap into it. That's all I'm going to say. Certain women can bring out certain sides in a man.
Yeah.
Because their emotions are so involved, they can't like picture you being with nobody else. And I used to wonder, like, dang, why was that?
But women
me?
go through that too.
Men and women, they both do. Men go through domestic violence too. I promise you. I had someone where he was like, his kid's mom, like, I think I was so shocked because of the stuff that he went through. She went to the job, stabbed him, did different things. And that was the first time where I was like, I need to speak for men and women, because it fucking like floored me to understand. I just thought women go through it. No, women be beating up men too. Like,
you know what? Maybe I should take them.
You see?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
now,
I went a couple rounds. We had to go back and forth. Slugger.
And I don't think it's okay.
Heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, and it frustrates me because and you call the cops.
You know what? They got that little man complex. I am gonna like seriously. Hey,
they do.
Everything.
I don't side with that because it frustrates me, because I'm like, if I call the cops right now, I can potentially just call the cops on you. Like, he hit me, boy. They come with 18 people, 10 people. But if I did it, if I hit him, they're gonna be like, "What's she do to you?" It's like a frowned upon. It's so weird to me.
Not now.
Okay, maybe not.
Not now.
Taekwondo.
Like jiu-jitsu.
You know what? Now I think now they're taking everything.
They do, because you know the crime rate.
Because women is going to jail. I know this lady.
I was about to say
she went to jail and she was so mad because this was her first time ever hitting him.
Do you know the rate though? And I have this part of my work. Vegas has an 85% of domestic violence crime rate. A lot of people don't know that. Both 85%.
It's on both sides.
Both sides, 85%. I do research. Like, I'm that person. Like, if I'm visiting somewhere, I Google the crime rate. Don't judge me. I do be like, oh shit, like
that's an investigation.
I don't want to be somewhere.
When a man does try to leave,
they want to stop you.
And sometimes when a woman wants to leave, a man will definitely close that door, put his hand in front, because he knows.
If she leaves, she not. Yeah. No, for real.
You know, I think, you know what, and I hear those stories, and I'm like, what woman do that? But
they do it.
It is women that do that, like, baby, please, I love you. And I'm thinking in my head, like, but if so why pressure someone to stay? Because that's not even love.
To them, it is. It's toxic love. Absolutely.
You can't really tell somebody about something if they don't know about it.
But like, how?
If you don't. So if a person is in love, like definitely in love with this person, and you tell them, man, that's a million fish in the sea, but they ain't never left Vegas.
They're not gonna believe it. They think that's the only person.
But even like people that left, I feel like people just have that in their minds, because
I mean, look, it took for me to almost die to leave. Strategically.
But
it's just wrapped in my mind.
I didn't think that. Even if I didn't think that, am I gonna believe somebody that's like causing me so much hurt will be like, even I'm not even gonna listen, I'm gonna risk it. And
but you're stronger. And I say it because you're such a stronger woman. I can't imagine certain things, you know? It was a weak mind. I was weak minded. I absolutely wasn't. No, I'm not saying it. What I'm saying for myself, not for women. Like, people always understand, you know, like, I don't understand how we don't believe we're good enough, number one, or we think that's the best we're gonna get, or it's the fear, or it's the perception. Yeah. So it's not necessarily, okay, maybe not weak minded. It's just like, if I do leave, shit, like, I know he gonna come after me, right? So what is the potential of doing it? Or like, I never involved, a lot of my family didn't know what I was going through till it was almost too late, realistically, because I'm that person, like, I'm not going to call my brother, I'm not calling uncles, because I'm going to go back to you. Then I just stirred up a whole bunch of shit.
No, I'm not going to call them.
Now you're going back.
And now your family's looking at this nigga like, man.
Now y'all got beef, potentially to fought my brother. Like, I've seen him, like, slap the dog crap out of my brother playing Monopoly. All because he said, excuse my, fuck me. Tore that house up. I'm not making it up.
I feel like...
Yeah, me. But my brother. So my brother is. Yeah, we were playing Monopoly, and that's just my brother. My brother lives with different things. So for me, I just didn't take it that way. It's just him. He just speaks different. And we were betting. It was Monopoly. And then he was like, "Oh, put that." He was like, "Oh, I put that on her," you know. And then he was like, "What?" He's like, "I put that on her," you know. He's like, "Say it again." He's like, "Fuck her." But it wasn't like, for me, I didn't take it that way. When I tell you what. I was so scared. Like, he had
ain't no way.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you intertwine with my family members, I don't put my family members.
They was too scared. Like, it didn't matter.
No, regardless if I'm gonna be with them or not, like, I just don't put them in my business just because. Like, it's
I agree.
not their business. Like, and like that has nothing to do with if I'm going back, but what you know, if you disrespect, that means like I love you more.
You know what? Now I see that. I can see that, but at that moment it was like, no, let me just comment. You done already slapped him with the Monopoly money. Like,
you should differentiate between like those people that constantly bring different people around the family.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna keep bringing different girls around, I'm gonna ask. What the fuck is going on?
Like, what are you doing? You okay? What's going on back there?
Yeah.
So that's different. But if I'm in a solid relationship, don't be talking to me and asking me about what the fuck's going on. We good.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think
because you let people in your relationship, that shit gets fucked.
Respect, like, okay, like regardless, like if my sister and her dude walk outside, me and my dude, like if we walk outside and like we have an issue, my family like, but then my family like we respect their issue too. Like, oh, that girl, like
call me when you're done.
Yeah,
like,
but the situation is because like when you handle that. Like you handle it like my brother, like unless like, you know, my brother, I remember one time he did ask like when we separated, and then he was like, yeah, y'all cool? And I was like, my little brother, but my little brother always treat me like I'm his
yeah, absolutely.
And like, you know, that was honestly, that made me, I'm like, okay,
because he cared.
Okay, my boo-boo.
So but the moment if you were to be like, nah bro, we ain't cool, boy, it's up.
You know,
it's
no,
for the most part.
Because my brother, I feel like he hates when he broke up with a whole girl if we say we like her.
Did you like her?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
Because is it the potential
and it was
of
before he even had kids or anything. Like it was like when he was like right out of school. We was like, oh my gosh, like she got a good head on her like, you know. And
if you okay, that's a good question. If your family don't like your significant other, you leaving them?
No. Because I'll be honest, like at the end of the day, like
you gotta be with them.
I gotta be with the person that I need to be with. My family, I can't just be my family. My mama ain't about to let me just live up in the house and be cool with that, regardless
I agree.
of paying bills and that. And plus, I don't want to do that. I don't want to live up in the house with the people.
You know, I think people do care, but it's to a certain extent. Like, hey, I'm with her.
That makes sense.
Because like my brother, like it doesn't, like honestly, we don't make comments on like who he's with. Like
after that one, a bunch of girls up.
He
no, like that. No, he would want. He's faithful.
You gotta be special for him to bring. Yes. So she was special. You know, she was special. So when she came, it was like that's my nephew. When she came, it was
that's
like,
that. It's a kid.
Okay, like she was like, oh yeah, I'm doing this, and she was so sweet.
So what made him be like?
Because I feel like we will judge him more.
Yeah, I don't take nobody around and
my
that's
no judgment on him.
Nope.
And was she white?
No.
What is that? No, I think I don't bring. I don't. No, it is true.
She was going to.
I don't bring nobody around my family. I have to describe them.
Like my oldest brother brought this girl around, and she was like, "Oh, I'm Creole." First of all, you mixed.
You see what I'm saying? What we go through, like
I understand. Like, but it was. She was.
You mixed.
Like,
she was Creole. She didn't feel mixed.
Too in depth with her because honestly, like we don't. I don't. Yes, I know everything. Please.
See here, I go.
Like the bush. We don't talk to him because of her. And like my oldest brother, like for real, like he used to come to me at work. I spoke to her, but when you start disrespecting my mom, like bro, like, hey, my hands is up. She disrespectful. I'm done with you and her. Like my mom.
If you tolerate that.
Thank you. Yeah, because my mom used to tell us even when she was done, like the girl was like said something about my mom. My mom was like, "Hey, take your brother a gift over there." I drove all the way to Henderson. He stayed the exit right before Boulder. And I drove over there, took him a gift, and like him and the baby a gift. And like, I think probably like a couple of weeks later, she posted something on Facebook. Please do not Facebook bang. And I feel like that's disrespectful, especially about how my mom was having a knee, like she had knee surgery, so she couldn't. So she was like, oh, she haven't came to see her grandbaby. You could my mom told my brother to bring the baby over. My mom is good for telling us. Thank you. And so, like, honestly, I haven't talked to my brother in like maybe like almost 9 years. No, it's like 8.5 years, and I'm cool with it just because I feel like if and my mom feel the same way. If she's making you happy, that's your wife.
She's such a piece.
So,
yeah.
At first, it was his girlfriend, wife. Now, fiance. Now married. So my mom was like, he will always respect the wife because she's been not. She
Absolutely.
haven't been there, but she respect like that's your wife.
So my brother got married right when he joined the military because benefits.
Mm-hmm. They're good too.
I already knew that's what it was for. He was trying to help this girl out. So I'm like, all right, man, look, you can't expect us to meld with a person that she was just awkward. She didn't speak. She barely spoke any English.
That's probably why she didn't speak.
But at the same time, it's like, why would you do that to us?
Yes. Why would you put us in a predicament where we will judge her?
So
yeah.
We're your family.
As family, when somebody brings somebody in like that,
yeah.
What do we do?
You know what?
We don't even encounter her.
To the side, like, what is she offering? Why do you?
You know what? Yeah,
and we never. I think we never have to understand because you don't understand.
He had to love her.
And I was gonna say, I think we're all because we're all different. Like my little brother been with that girl for like 13. They've been together like almost 13 years. But then my sister, like, she's gay. She just, I don't know what stage, but she had like one. I think she got married. I didn't know my sister got married one time. I promise you, we're just talking. I knew she got married when she was getting divorced. Mm-hmm. I swear to God, my sister. I remember calling her or whatever. Because she was a cop, different things. And I was just like, oh, how are you? I'm checking on you. So she had moved to South Dakota. She's like, just going through a divorce. Bitch, when did you get married?
You know, I feel like...
When did you get married? Like,
certain people offer, like, sometimes they keep it a secret if they know.
They know
that we're not going to
prove. They messing up. They know they...
Okay, I can see that. Why are you marrying?
I feel like they do. Like, as human, like, even me. If I know I'm messing up, I sure ain't going to be proud of it.
But that ain't true. I don't take nobody around my family. Oh, boy, I cringe that.
Like, hey, you can bring
no,
I can't.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The
only people I can say like that was the person I was with for 13 years. Even the one for 3, like, he had, like, knew who my mom was, right? Because I stayed with my mom and different things. Like, when I had left my ex, I was that determined, like, boy, I'm about to go live back with my mama.
Yeah.
And, I mean, she only knew who he was. But other than that, I'm not taking... My family is so dysfunctional. So I cringe that. And I think that's why it doesn't work. Because I'm like, when it gets to the family part, I'm like, I'm probably going to be out. Because now you asking too many questions. Because they so, like, fuck. I can't explain it.
My family is so hood.
I love to know that.
No, you think, like,
but I know.
My cousin was shouting at my nephews and his son graduation. They names. Like, he was like, sure, y'all want to graduate? I'm going to shout y'all name.
What's wrong with that, though? They need that support.
He was shouting my brother's name, and my brother was sitting next to me. My brother, because he said he's giving recognition where recognition is due. But the point
hold on. He was there. Wait, why was you?
Recognition.
Because it was his son graduating?
No, he was shouting his kid's name too.
But why?
What I'm saying is, he was shouting everybody. No.
See, we're confused.
Me too. He was saying everybody needs to get honored.
So why was he? So
they shouted his name. He said, "Yes, I am." Like, so what I'm saying is, like, I appreciate my family in every part of them.
I'd have been crying.
Like, I think people don't. Everybody be like, "Oh, I don't bring that family around because this family act like this."
Well, listen, certain places they can't go. For sure.
No, you know what?
But come to the house and do all the crazy.
No,
we're not going in public.
Like, you know what?
No.
But I worked. Okay, I went to volunteer for, like, these people, and it was like for a different crowd, for, like, people. You know, they had money. Yes. Dang, you can't say that. That's rude.
No, but it's the truth.
Yes, but when I say like they still had dysfunctions.
Yes.
Everybody got things.
I still say, and so why are black people embarrassed about their dysfunctions?
The only reason why
because we're already stigmatized.
We loud.
Absolutely.
We gotta hold ourselves to a higher standard because these white folks already think we baboons and all this other
shit. You know what? And that's why, honestly, I feel like I have always been. I felt like not a hypocrite, like like I'm holding this person, like I'm fake. What is it called? I can't think of it. Like I'm being this fake person, like not a facade. Like I'm being this person, I'm not. Like I work with people, like, okay, me cocktailing, I work with people Y'all know Easy Pop, not phony, but Easy Pawns, and her husband was going like traveling to Egypt, like to going to look for like ancient things. She had money. I worked with this other girl, like her husband had this good business where he was like, when I say they house is nice, like these women were being taken care of, and they only worked just because they didn't want to be at home with they like bougie husband. Like yes, so at the end of the day, they still acted raw and like me. The only people that are afraid to be themselves is black because we feel like we are always judged. We're gonna be judged anyways. True. And I realize if I'm gonna be judged, at least judge me for my authentic self. Yeah, facts. See, that's so, and that's why when my cousins was acting like, I was like, I don't care.
I didn't understand that when young, the neighbor like
at first I was just like, oh my gosh, like, and my brother was like, he crazy. Like,
why?
Shut up.
Like, why he yelling that name?
At the end of the day, it's just like it's sad because they get to be their true, authentic self, and we the only ones that don't have to. We can't be us.
We're so hard. We're like, that's your white side. I'm literally the only black person in the whole. Like, I run like 4 states. Like, I oversee here, Arizona, San Diego, Colorado. But I'm the only black person in my office. I love them. They don't treat me any different, but we do make like jokes, you know, and I think it's to the point where it doesn't bother me. They're like, oh, like my friend that got married on her board, we were talking about it. I put love your only black friend. I am your only black friend. And it's the truth. But I feel like that's why I work so hard because I feel like they're already like, not them in general, right? We'll say like maybe the company to a point, like maybe because we're so used to people looking at us down on us, like we're going to fail. So I'm always that overachiever, as she said, like, yeah, I'm going to overachieve because some people think some Africans Americans, like we're just retarded. We're not. I'm pretty smart. I might hide it. Sometimes I could be in a room and I act dumb purposely. I do, because I'm sitting there. And it is. And I swear my boss that retired, we went to California. Like, I remember his last day, right? And I was really soaking in the moment. You know, you ever had that moment where I'm like, damn, like, I really made it. I'm at this board meeting. I'm like the youngest woman on top of it. And I'm the only African American. But he was like, you need to speak up because what you say has volume to it. Like, you have purpose. And they were just saying I had my annual review where, like, they literally glorified me. But for some reason, I found myself still hard on myself. For whatever reason. It's weird.
See, I don't even speak unless I'm spoken to. And that's why I find it hard. Like, if somebody doesn't engage in it, like, I'm going to sit in the board meeting and I won't say anything. Even if I have ideas or something like that, unless somebody's like, yo, Bart, what you think? Because at the end of the day, I feel like when, as a black person, when I decide to vocalize that, they'll be like, okay. They heard what I said. They're going to keep it in the back of their mind. Ted going to bring it up next week.
And they go, yep, oh God.
So that's why I keep my shit, I try to shut the fuck up and then just allow things to happen the way they do. But if I am in a situation where I have to work with them, then I have to be able to trust. It's hard to trust.
Hey, absolutely, everybody can deceive you, and it's kind of like she's saying, like, boy, my trust is hard. But I think it's not that I don't give people that amount of time, right? I do. Not that I don't. I give people. We said it like 30 days.
Yeah, 30 days.
30 days. What's wrong? Go. Like, and I think in those 30 days, because I'm like looking at you, I'm critiquing different things, and I think maybe like I am maybe harder on certain individuals just because how I am as a self-goal person. I'm a critic. Like, if you don't know where you want to go, it's hard for me to adapt to that.
It's hard for me to even see.
Have a conversation. Yeah, it's like, so you don't know really where you want to go. Okay.
I had a conversation last week with a dude who was like, I guess he has his own studio or whatever, but he said he wanted to collab. I'm like, all right, which one to collab? Oh man, I really don't know.
Just something.
You gotta come with me with an idea. You came to me. You know what I'm saying? So if like you have even if it's a half-baked idea, if it's something, some type of,
I can tear from that.
You know what I mean?
Like a rough draft.
Yeah.
I would say a rough draft.
Give me a rough draft and then we can go from there. I'll help you with the summary and all the other English words that they use to write essays.
No, I don't know what y'all talking about.
So. Oh no, we were just saying, we were just talking about just different things in general. But me as a person, like, you know, he was kind of tearing off of trust just a little bit again. But I'm like, I need to know where that person's mind is. Like, people be attracted to people how they look. We talk about it. Like, people think people got money, but mine is your mind. And that's the thing. Your mind is going to take you so many different places, and that's why I like to read, or documentaries, or I'm in school. It's
what else? Because I feel like sometimes your mind could be so it's your drive.
yeah. You gotta have some type of. That's another thing
Like,
too.
if you don't have a
You go
drive,
get like
yeah,
how are you a go
'cause
getter?
I feel like sometimes even like on your bad days, like pay attention to a person on a bad day.
Absolutely, that's gonna tell you a lot. And I love that you said that, a lot about a person. Last night we were having a conversation with somebody where literally it was something like that. It's like even at our worst. I think
Like,
even at
how
the
do you
worst, like
express
how do
yourself?
you?
Even like I feel like you could pity yourself. Like a man could say, "Oh, like as a man, a man won't like yeah, you'll say that, but it's more in depth, as in saying, I feel like you don't say that, and that's the hidden. A man wouldn't say like, "Oh, as a man, I shouldn't be doing this and this and this and this," but you want me to hear. I feel like certain things, like I don't tell you certain things because it's deeper within me. You get what I'm saying?
Okay,
I'm not about to tell you something. So if it's hidden, I want to find it. And if you just telling me, that means you could tell everybody else that. You know?
I do agree.
Like so if
I want
it
to like know
you
stuff that other people don't know. That's me.
exactly, but if you just telling me like straight out, like you having a bad day, and say, man, I just feel like as a man, this shouldn't be going right with this shouldn't be happening, or I shouldn't, like I should have more, like certain situations should be okay with me. I feel like that's breaking it up to excuse to ask me for something, and like another, like I just got to do it. Those words, I just got to do it, is something that a woman will say. And I mean, not a woman, I ain't gonna say that, but it's something a strong person will say.
Okay, I get
Like,
that.
I just got to do it because like you don't want to do it, and then it's gonna make me dig deeper. What do you just got to do?
That do make
Like,
sense.
cause then I'm asking deep in depth questions, and then we're gonna go more in depth, and then you're gonna be like, man, listen. When you say man, listen, it's like I hate that. And you don't want to tell me, and I feel like, okay, you know what, you probably don't want to tell me. So right now, it's cool. You don't want to tell me, and then I throw a joke in there. You don't gotta tell me right now, but you can tell me later.
But see, I'm very, and I think I do with you. Like I'm very, like I'm gonna pick your mind.
But then you could pick it, and then I could tell you a lie.
True,
But
it goes
like,
reading people too, though.
But nah, honestly, you could read me, and I could tell you a lie, and you like, it depends on what I want to give you. I could feed you a lie. I could feed you a great lie.
To a point.
No, like no, like
every
no.
time you tell me,
But
like, oh, I'm okay, whatever the situation is, do I not be like later on that day? I'm like, I know you ain't.
But it's different, because sometimes I don't even go in depth with it. Like,
You
it could be
don't.
like, yeah, but what I'm saying is like, it ain't. It's some things I do open up, and then some things it's just like, okay, I just tell you this much, because at the end of the day, I don't want to dive deep into a situation that's gonna lead me nowhere. And as in nowhere, as in like something that I could fix myself, that's nowhere. Like certain situations, I feel like men could lead in that nowhere. That is what I want to dive deeper into a man. You get what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
Like, so it's not like I as we continue to learn, like each other, we learn the relationships that we want, the relationships that we feel like we are I'm entitled to. Like, those are the relationships I feel like.
I just take communication or everything else, though. That's the thing. I would be okay with somebody, and that's
No, but I feel
like just
people
communication.
lie.
They do, but I think it's a communication, and I think I said it to you, like I have some, like where sometimes communication trumps everything.
But no,
if we got
like,
that real life
but then again,
conversation,
like, I could forgive a lie if it's that bad. Like, if it hurts you that much to tell me, I will forgive it. Like, as in, like, a man is like, his pride is everything.
yeah, this is true.
But we're gonna break down pride, right? So it depends on if you prideful of your friends, if you prideful of yourself.
Men are prideful anyway. Like, they'll do some shit, and it's because they pride. And
but it always, if it goes back to you, I love it. You know why? Because women are prideful. We just don't break down our prides for men, and men don't know how to break down our pride. So if they're prideful to their friends, that's a different kind of pride. I feel like you're just a bitch. Because at the end of the day, like reality,
she's so annoying, bro.
They could call us gay. They could call us all of these things.
Well, we speak all the time. It's because we're close. They used to annoy me. Oh, y'all gay. Why? Because I'll send my friend some flowers, or I'll build her up, or we together all the time.
Things, but
because we like,
not
for real. But it's I'm building like anytime we're together.
If a man is prideful of himself, that's like him being prideful. Like, and I respect that. I'm gonna be honest. I would respect a man being prideful of himself rather than his friends.
I agree.
You like, because I understand. Sometimes like it sucks. The pride is so deep, but sometimes like that's how we grow. You know, that is how, like, you know.
I agree to a point.
So it was, a couple of more questions that we wanted to get into, but I'm gonna save them for next time. I am gonna say leave somebody. We seen a podcast, and it was about, would you, if your daughter asked you for a dildo?
We opening up with that one next week.
Yeah.
Yes.
If your daughter asked you for a dildo, what would you do?
Fuck no. I'll be honest.
Give your answer.
Oh, I thought we could start. We'll start with that, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying fuck no on the next episode. I will break down the F no's.
You're right.
My bad, because it was burnt. Because no.
Like, but that was we seen a podcast and they mentioned
it was so crazy. So I'm excited.
No, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about the next one. So thank y'all.
Tuned. Girl, be nice. Y'all stay in touch with yourself.
That was cute. What type of in touch though?